The smallest nation ever. A Caribbean island with just 156,000 people, Curaçao becomes the smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup. The entire population of Curaçao would fit inside two Maracanã stadiums. They are also the first non-sovereign nation to qualify since the Dutch East Indies, back in 1938, almost 90 years ago. And they're not alone. Three other nations are making their World Cup debut. Cape Verde, with just 550,000 people. Jordan, after decades of near misses. And Uzbekistan, the first ever Central Asian nation to reach a World Cup, a country that waited 34 years for this moment. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. The man who coached Uzbekistan to its first ever World Cup. Fabio Cannavaro, the same Italian captain who lifted the trophy in 2006. While Italy stays home for the third straight time, its former captain just made history with the Uzbeks. And that's just the start. Because this World Cup isn't just bigger in faces, it's the biggest tournament ever played. Period. The biggest World Cup ever. For the first time in history, 48 teams compete in a single World Cup, up from 32. That's a jump of 16 nations, the biggest expansion the tournament has ever seen. The teams are split into 12 groups of 4, with the top 2 from each group, plus the 8 best third-place teams advancing to a brand new round of 32. The numbers explode across the board, 104 total matches instead of 64. 39 days of football instead of 32. Teams reaching the final now play 8 games instead of 7. And this is the first format change since 1998, meaning an entire generation has never seen a World Cup structured this way. A bigger tournament needs bigger personalities, and for the first time ever, the mascots multiplied too. 3 mascots, 1 controversy. For the first time in World Cup history, the tournament has 3 official mascots, 1 for each host nation. Meet Maple the Moose, the Canadian goalkeeper, Zayu the Jaguar, Mexico's striker, and Clutch the Bald Eagle, the United States midfielder. Each was given a full personality, a backstory, and even a position on the pitch. But the reveal split the internet in half. Critics called the designs predictable, a moose for Canada, an eagle for the US, and a jaguar with a Mexican name that confused even local fans. Still, FIFA went all in. These 3 will become the first World Cup mascots ever to feature as playable characters in a video game. FIFA Heroes, launching on Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. Mascots get the spotlight, but there's one object that touches every single play in every single match. And this one comes with a warning. The TRIONDA, a ball with baggage. The TRIONDA is the official match ball of the 2026 World Cup, a name that means 3 waves, honoring the 3 host nations. It's the first World Cup ball ever made with just 4 panels, the smallest number in the tournament's history. Adidas claims the design celebrates North American culture, but the engineering decision is the real story. The more spherical the ball, the more unpredictable it becomes in flight. And that's why goalkeepers are worried. The 4-panel design makes the TRIONDA structurally closer to the infamous Jabulani from 2010, the most hated ball in World Cup history. Inside it, a 500 Hz motion sensor sends real-time data to the VAR system, identifying every single touch, including potential handballs. But there's a darker side. The TRIONDA retails for around £130. The workers who stitch them in Sialkot, Pakistan, earn around £26 a week. The ball will bounce in 16 different stadiums, and one of them is about to do something no stadium in the world has ever done. The stadium that made history 3 times, Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. The only stadium in the world to host 3 different World Cup tournaments. Built in 1966, the Azteca already hosted the 1970 and 1986 World Cups. In 2026, it becomes the first venue ever to host 3 opening matches. No other stadium on the planet comes close to this record, and none will for decades. This is the pitch where Pelé lifted his 3rd World Cup trophy in 1970. The same grass where Maradona scored both the Hand of God and the goal of the century against England in 1986. And it sits 2,200 meters above sea level, high enough that visiting teams who don't acclimate often gasp for air in the first 15 minutes. The locals call it the Fortress. With 87,000 seats, it's still the largest stadium in Latin America. But the Azteca won't host the final. That honor goes to a stadium with a very different history and a very different price tag. A final on NFL turf. The 2026 World Cup final will be played on July 19th at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, home of the NFL's New York Giants and Jets. For the first time, the most important match in football is being played inside an American football stadium. It's a brutal contrast. The tournament opens at a 60-year-old monument in Mexico City and closes at a venue built primarily for the NFL. And the ticket prices? They sparked one of the biggest backlashes in modern FIFA history. Official tickets range from $60 to $10,990 depending on the match. Final tickets that were promised to cost a maximum of $1,550 during the bid have already crossed $8,000 on the official platform. Fans called it elite sports gone wrong. FIFA responded by releasing a limited number of $60 tickets across all 104 matches. But they vanished in minutes. For the millions priced out of seats, there's still one thing this World Cup gives back to the world, something no edition has done in over 15 years. Every continent qualified for the first time since 2010. Every single continental confederation has a team in the World Cup. This is also the first World Cup in history where all 6 confederations have a guaranteed slot. Oceania, long ignored by FIFA, finally has a direct ticket to the tournament. New Zealand made it in, becoming the lowest-ranked team to qualify, sitting at 85th in the world. The full breakdown looks like a global map: 16 from Europe, 9 from Africa, 8 from Asia, 6 from South America, 6 from North America, 1 from Oceania, and 2 through intercontinental playoffs. For comparison, only 26 of the 48 teams in 2026 also played in 2022. Almost half the bracket is new blood. It's the most globally representative World Cup ever assembled. But behind all this celebration, there's one shadow over the tournament that nobody at FIFA wants to talk about: the World Cup of extreme heat. The 2026 World Cup is shaping up to be the hottest in history, and not in a good way. A joint report from Football for Future, Common Goal, and Jupiter Intelligence revealed that 10 of the 16 host stadiums currently exceed safe playing limits for extreme temperature. June and July in North America bring heat waves that push perceived temperatures past 40 degrees Celsius in cities like Dallas, Houston, and Monterey. FIFA has already announced that early day matches will be moved primarily to covered, air-conditioned stadiums to protect the players. Expect mandatory hydration breaks, increased muscle injuries, and tactical chaos. The 1994 World Cup in the United States already faced this exact problem. But climate change has made it dramatically worse 32 years later. The biggest, the boldest, the most chaotic. The 2026 World Cup kicks off on June 11th, and nothing about it will look like what came before.